What if the gods themselves knew the exact day the world would end and could do nothing to stop it? This is Odin, the All-Father, king of the Norse gods who rule from the golden halls of Asgard. He is wise, ruthless when he must be, and endlessly hungry for knowledge, because he alone has glimpsed the doom coming for everything he loves. To learn what fate held, Odin once tore out his own eye and cast it into a well of wisdom, paying agony for a single truth. Everything he had built would one day fall. That truth was Ragnarök, a final battle prophesied to consume gods, giants, and men alike, ending the world as they knew it. From that day on, Odin's every decision was shaped by one desperate goal: delay it, or at least survive it. He was not alone in this. Frigg, his queen, ruled beside him, wise in her own right, and fiercely protective of their children, especially the one she loved most. But not every close ally could be trusted. Loki, a cunning trickster god who lived among the Aesir, was clever, charming, and useful, but his loyalty always bent toward his own amusement, and sometimes toward something far darker. Unknown to most of the gods, Loki had fathered 3 children with a giantess, children so unnatural that even the prophecy trembled around them: a wolf, a serpent, and a woman who ruled the dead. When Odin learned of these children, he feared they were the very seeds of Ragnarök. So he acted, casting the serpent, Jormungandr, into the depths of the world's ocean, and sending the woman, Hel, to rule the realm of the dead far below. The wolf, Fenrir, he chose to keep close instead, believing he could raise it among the gods and control what it would become. It was a decision that would haunt him. But Fenrir did not stay small. Season after season, he grew faster, stronger, and hungrier than any creature the gods had ever seen, until even the bravest among them grew afraid to feed him. Left with no choice, the gods decided Fenrir had to be bound for good, but no ordinary chain could hold him. They needed something magical, and something to make him believe it was only a game. That's when Tyr stepped forward, a warrior god known for his honesty, and the only one Fenrir still trusted. To prove the chain was harmless, Tyr offered to place his own hand in the wolf's mouth as a pledge. The moment Fenrir realized he was truly trapped, he bit down, severing Tyr's hand at the wrist. The wolf was bound at last, but he would never forget who had chained him, and he swore that one day he would be free. Meanwhile, in the Golden Halls, Odin and Frigg had one more child together, Baldur, the most beloved of all the gods. Gentle, radiant, and seemingly untouched by darkness, he was the light of Asgard. But even Baldur was not safe from the shadow hanging over everything. One night, Frigg dreamed of her son lying dead, and she woke certain it was no ordinary nightmare. Desperate to protect him, Frigg traveled to every corner of creation, asking every living thing and every object, fire, water, stone, iron, every beast and plant, to swear a solemn oath never to harm her son. With every single thing sworn to spare him, Baldur seemed truly invincible. The gods, delighted, turned it into a game, hurling spears, stones, and axes at him for sport, laughing as everything simply bounced away. Loki watched this game with growing irritation and curiosity. Digging for a weakness, he discovered one small thing Frigg had overlooked entirely: a humble little plant called mistletoe, too small and harmless for anyone to bother asking. From that overlooked plant, Loki secretly carved a sharp, deadly dart, the one weapon in all the 9 realms that had never sworn to spare Baldur's life. Back at the game, Loki approached Baldur's blind brother, Hoder, who felt left out since he could not see to aim. Loki offered to guide his hand and placed the mistletoe dart into it. Baldur is dead. The one thing no one had thought to guard against had killed him instantly. Asgard fell into a grief so total that even the halls themselves seemed to dim. And Odin understood with cold certainty that the prophecy had just taken its first true step forward. Refusing to accept this, Odin sent a messenger down to Hel, the realm of the dead ruled by Loki's own daughter, to beg for Baldur's return. Hel agreed to release Baldur, but only on one condition. Every single thing in creation had to weep for him. If even one voice stayed dry-eyed, he would remain hers forever. And nearly everything did weep. Every stone, every tree, every grieving god. But deep in a cave, one old giantess refused, coldly declaring she felt nothing for Baldur's death at all. That giantess, it would later be revealed, was Loki in disguise. Because of his cruelty, Baldur could not return, and the god's brightest light stayed trapped in the underworld, a wound that never fully closed. Once the truth came out, the god's grief turned to fury. They hunted Loki through every realm, determined to make him pay for what he had taken from them. When they finally caught him, the gods bound Loki to a rock with the entrails of his own son and placed a venomous serpent above him, its poison dripping endlessly onto his face. For years, Loki suffered there in silence and agony, but suffering only sharpened his hatred. He would remember this cruelty, and when his chance finally came, he would repay it in full. While Loki festered in the shadows, Heimdall, the ever-watchful guardian of Asgard, stood his post at the burning bridge of Bifrost, watching for the first sign that the end had truly begun. That sign came slowly in the form of a winter that refused to end. Snow fell for season after season. Crops failed, and the sun itself seemed to grow weaker, a terrible omen the old stories called Fimbulwinter. As the cold deepened, so did despair among mortals. Brothers turned on brothers, oaths were broken, and the bonds that once held the world of men together began to unravel completely. Ragnarök had begun. In that same instant, far away, Fenrir's ancient chains finally snapped, and the wolf that had waited a lifetime for revenge threw back his head and howled across every realm at once. At the same moment, out in the deep ocean, Jormungandr began to rise, thrashing so violently that entire seas surged over the land, drowning coastlines in an instant. From the fiery realm of Muspelheim marched Surtur, a fire giant so ancient and immense that his burning sword alone could set the sky itself ablaze, leading an army straight toward Asgard. Seeing all of this at once, the wolf, the serpent, the fire, the trickster loosed. Heimdall raised the Gjallarhorn to his lips and blew a single, thunderous note that shook every realm awake. The end had come. Odin, Thor, and every god who could still fight marched out through the burning bridge, knowing full well that this battle had been foretold since before any of them were born, and that not all of them would survive it. On the vast plain of Vigrid, the armies finally met, gods, giants, and monsters colliding in a battle meant to decide whether the world would end or endure. Odin himself sought out Fenrir, the wolf he had once tried to raise and control, spear raised for the final duel the prophecy had always promised between them. Odin was gone, but Odin did not fall unavenged. His son moved instantly, tearing the wolf's jaws apart with his bare hands to end Fenrir's reign of terror at last, even as the cost of that victory sank in. Nearby, Thor finally faced the sea serpent, Jormungandr, the sibling Odin had once cast into the ocean. After a brutal struggle, Thor crushed the serpent's skull with his hammer, but not before its venom found him too. Thor took 9 steps back, staggered, and fell, his strength finally spent after ending the threat that had circled the world its entire life. One by one, the great gods of Asgard were falling. With the gods' greatest defenders gone, Surtur strode across the ruined battlefield and set the entire world ablaze. Flames climbing up the world tree itself until even shining Asgard began to crumble into fire and ash. The fire spread until it consumed everything, and then the scorched land sank beneath the rising sea, swallowing every realm in water and darkness. For a moment, it truly seemed the prophecy had won completely, that nothing at all had survived. But the old stories always said Ragnarök was an ending, not a full stop. And slowly, the waters began to recede, revealing a green, untouched world rising fresh beneath a new and gentler sun. A handful of gods, too young to have fought in the final war, walked out from their hiding places among the world tree's roots, and among them, unbelievably, walked Baldur, finally freed from the underworld to see the dawn. So Ragnarök came exactly as Odin had always feared, and yet it was not the absolute end after all. The old gods paid the highest price to burn away a broken world, and from those ashes, a kinder one was finally given the chance to begin.